there's a difference. So, yes, there are victims. We're all victims of something, right? We're victims of a stock market that goes bad on us. We're the victims of
materialism. We're victims of
We're the victims of fear. We're the victims of all sorts of things, right? So, yes, we're all victims. That's not the point.
Yeah.
And some people, I'm sure, will say, well, I'm a bigger victim than you are. Yes. Yeah. But being a victim is not the problem. Identifying yourself as a victim is the problem.
Yes.
If you don't identify yourself as a victim, then it's just something to be endured. It's something to change. It's something to outgrow. It's a challenge. If you identify as a victim, then it's self-centered. Oh, woe is me. It's so unfair. Why me? I deserve better. See? It's all about self.
Right.
So being a victim, identifying as a victim, is a problem, a real big problem. Being a victim, well, that sometimes happens to all of us. You know, you're driving your car and somebody runs into you. Bang.
Yeah.
Well, now your car's all messed up. You can see yourself. Well, you were a victim of a bad driver, or victim of road rage, or victim of your own inattention. I mean, you can express anything in your life in terms of victimhood if you are self-centered enough.
Right.
But that's not the way to look at your life. You got to identify yourself not as a victim, but as a person with power to change. A person that can take any event and turn it into growth. If you identify yourself like that, then you turn it to be Viktor Frankl.
Yeah,
you don't get the PTSD.
Right.
You don't, you don't end up feeling bad about yourself 50 years later because you didn't get the teddy bear. You just don't see yourself as a failure. You see yourself as I can overcome, not I'm dysfunctional or I'm not. So it's just an attitude. See, just what you said. The difference between really, really succeeding and just falling in a hole is just an attitude. It's just a perspective. Just change that perspective from I'm a victim to I'm going to learn something from this.
Yeah, it really is that simple. It's that simple. It's as simple or as complicated as we make it, right? Yeah. And then it's through habit and repetition that we keep making that choice over and over again.
So if your life is full of anger and stress and unhappiness and disappointment and you don't feel fulfilled, then you are full of fear. And you take each one of those, like take anger, something that makes you angry. When the last time you were angry, or the next time you're angry, say, oh, what fear creates that angry button? What fear is tied to the thing that makes me angry? Somebody belittles you or tells you that you're not good enough. Well, if inside you feel you're good enough, you feel fine, then you think, well, it's their problem. If inside you feel not good enough, now you're angry because they've triggered your fear. Your fear of not being good enough is triggered when somebody says, you're not good enough. What do you mean I'm not good enough? I am too good enough. You're not good enough. And we get into a fight, right?
Right.
So that's because you actually have a fear of not being good enough. You have a fear of being inadequate.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that fear, then other people, you have no buttons.
Yeah.
Other people can't do that. So for every button you have and every negative thing you feel, there is a fear underlying there, or you wouldn't have that negative thing.
Yes.
You'd say, oh, you think I'm not good enough? Oh, that's interesting. Why would you think that? And you're smiling, and you obviously would like to know. You'd like them to tell you. And they may get in a rage and tell you stuff, and you say, well, that's interesting, but all those things you said, they're not true. And here's why, and here's why, and here's why, and here's why, and they're still in a rage. You say, well, it looks like it's not a good time to talk with you. Maybe I'll see you some other time. Bye, have a nice day.
Right.
And you actually do that, not out of snideness and not out of I'm superior, but just out of, you don't own any of that crap that they sent. But you own it if you feel like it's true or could be true. I am inadequate or whatever, and then they tell you, and now you get angry because you have to deny it. So that's the key. It's just a matter of how you see something. That attitude, that perspective you take makes all the difference in the world Whether you're a Viktor Frankl and come out with a new logotherapy, or whether you're some poor victim that spends the rest of their life hiding in a closet, afraid to go outside, crying all the time, and totally miserable because you went through this horrible experience.
And that's the thing is, I know we're making it sound very simple, but it has to come from this being level, right? It's not just something you think at the intellect.
And there'll be other people who will say, well, now you're demonizing the victims, the poor victims who are upset and miserable and unhappy because they're victims. And now you're saying that, well, if they didn't own it, they wouldn't be the victim. It's all their fault. No, it's not about fault.
Yeah.
It's just the way we are. And everybody does the best they can with what they've got. And if you happen to have enough quality that you don't do fear, then you will go through life no matter what happens to you, and life will be good, and you will be happy, you'll live in joy, you'll live in peace, and you'll feel satisfied because you don't have that fear. So no matter what happens to you, you can deal with it, and you'll get past it, you'll go on. You might be unhappy, you might be sad for a while, but you get over it, you know, it's okay. But whereas you're fearful, even the tiniest thing that happens to you, like you don't get a teddy bear, can put a scar on you for life. And you don't get over it. And you cry about it, and you're upset about it, and it ruins your life, and it ruins your relationships, and it's a wall you can't get through, and you got all the struggle, and you feel unhappy, you feel stressed, you feel unappreciated, you feel nobody understands me, you know, you feel anger, you feel all this stuff. And it's all because you've got that fear. Right.
And so you're saying then the way to get rid of ego and get rid of fear, well, the way to get rid of fear is by using the ego.
Using the ego to tell you where your fears are.
Right.
Because every time you catch yourself with a negative feeling, well, look at those people. They shouldn't be doing that. That's a negative feeling.
I can't believe she called me that.
Yeah, those are all negative feelings. And if you have a negative feeling, there's a fear that's behind that negative feeling.
Right.
And that fear will keep you unhappy. It'll make you struggle and keep you unhappy. You get rid of that fear, then that's just one big load off your shoulders, and you can be a happier person.
So you find the fear, and then the way to get rid of that fear is by having the intent to...
You need a really honest, strong intent that I don't want to be that way. It's not about behavior. It's about being. I don't want to be that way. And if you strongly feel that and keep that intent with you, you will do all the right things to get rid of it.
And it helps to have that intent when you have a bigger picture and you understand that your purpose here is precisely that, to get rid of the fear.